Hello, guys. Welcome to my channel and Happy New Year's. Today, I'm going to start a new world in Minecraft and play it on the background while I read some Reddit stories for us. And specifically, they are all in the theme of Christmas and New Year. So, this first story is from the Tifu subreddit, and the title says, I messed up by buying everyone an Ancestry DNA kit and ruining Christmas. So, the OP starts by saying that earlier this year, Ancestry DNA had a sale on their kit. I thought it would be a great gift idea, so I bought six of them for Christmas presents. Today, my family got together to exchange presents for our Christmas Eve tradition, and I gave my mom, dad, brother, and two sisters each a kit. As soon as everyone opened their gift at the same time, my mom started freaking out. She told us how she didn't want us taking them because they had unsafe chemicals. We explained them to her that there were actually no chemicals, but we could tell she was still flustered. So later, she started trying to convince us that the only one of us kids needs to take it, since we all have the same results, and to resell extra kits to save money. Fast forward, our parents have been fighting upstairs for the past hour, and we are downstairs trying to figure out who has a different dad. So recipe for disaster, honestly. Like generally, these ancestry kits, uh, especially on Christmas, I would say very easy to speculate, honestly. But thankfully, the OP has updated, and with an update, they have written that Christmas isn't ruined. Actually, this turned into a Christmas miracle because it turns out my sister's father passed away shortly after she was born. A good friend of my mom was able to help her through the darkest time in her life, and they went on and fall in love and create the rest of our family. They never told us because hard it was for my mom, and last night she was strong enough to share stories and photos with us for the first time, and it truly brought us even closer as a family. So this is the Christmas that we will never forget, and yes, we are all excited to get our test results. Merry Christmas, everyone. So yeah, towards the midway through the story, it seems like it's gonna go in a really bad direction, but it's saved and it goes well enough, about as well as it could be, I guess. In this specific scenario, with the reactions that they got from the mom and then the parents fighting in the door, and in the comments, the OP has mentioned that when the parents went upstairs to like have that fight for about the hour, uh, the kids were scared, and so they decided not to take the test. And then later, afterward, the mom confirmed what had happened. They decided to take it. So yeah, second story. This is from the subreddit of Am I Overreacting? And the title goes, Am I overreacting for screaming at my sister after she destroyed my child's Christmas presents because we didn't do enough for charity? Hi everyone. The author is a 13-year-old female and she has a son that is 18-month old. She says that I have a son who is finally getting the concept of Christmas this year, and admittedly, I was too excited and went a little overboard and I spent about $200 on an array of gifts for him to unwrap. I had them stored in a guest room that he doesn't have access to, so that later I can wrap them. My sister, who is 39 years old, came over for our family dinner, and she was telling me that her and her family decided that they wouldn't be doing gifts this year and would instead be spending the money on angel trees. If you don't know what angel trees are, it's a Christmas kind of charity movement that they put up a tree, for example, in a mall, and they write on cards, for example, this child or a senior citizen who doesn't have a good financial situation wished this for Christmas, and you can take that card, go buy the Christmas present, buy it, and put it by the tree, and then the charity kind of company gets them the present. So I told her that I think that's a great idea and good for them. She clarified that we wouldn't be getting gifts from them, and I assured her we did not want or need anything from them. A little bit passive aggressive, but understandable. She then asked if we would be doing any donations, and I explained to her that we already did two angels this month, and we will most likely do two more next month. After dinner, she brought back the conversation and asked if we'd also consider not doing family gifts and focusing on charity. I explained to her that we already bought our son gifts and assumed that was the end of the conversation, which is understandable enough. This is taking a weird turn because I don't get it. The sister is a little bit too much invested that maybe they just have the money and they want to buy themselves Christmas gifts and then do the charity too. Why do you have to cancel one and then only do the other one? She went quiet and excused herself to the bathroom, and after a while, she came back to the table and quickly left our house. And later that night, I went to the guest room to grab something from a storage and walked into a disaster zone. All of the gifts were either smashed or torn apart, and some of the clothes were ripped. I was shocked and called my sister. And on the phone, she yelled at me that we weren't doing enough for charity, and that instead of replacing the gifts, we should use the money to send to those in need. We got into a huge argument, and I ended up hanging up on her. And our family is 50-50 about who is in the right. Some family believe that she was just trying to help others, but my dad and other siblings believe she is fully in the wrong. My family is so split that it's threatening our family holidays and everyone is bickering with each other. Replacing the gifts will be tight, but we can do it. But is it worth all the fighting? I think that this is such a weird situation because why is it even 50-50? It's so obvious who is in the right and who is in the wrong. Uh, the sister destroyed the gifts. I don't know, maybe we don't know that much about the sister. Maybe mental health issues, but even with that, it's still not understandable. I would say that she owes them the money back, or at least replacing the gifts directly. It's such a weird thing that people are actually siding with her, I guess, because it's not her family. Like the immediate family of this OP is her husband and then their children, and it's their business whether they want to do more charity or less charity, and they're already doing charity. Not that it's any of the sisters' business, but they are already doing charity, and yet the sister is acting out like that, then destroying the gift. That's just insane to me. And the OP has edited to say that I forgot to post that her reasoning for destroying the toys was that we went overboard, and that means $200 on the amount of the toys, uh, 7 items, and we needed to be grateful and give more to charity, and that she was raising concerns that we cared more about us than others this holiday season, and that these were replaceable. But none of this was said directly to me, just telephoned through my family to me, so I can't validate it. This is just insane. At the very least, you have to have the reasoning that the gifts are already bought. If you destroy them, you're just destroying the money, and there's a good chance the family is just going to replace them and they're not going to care what you're saying. Like they might even just push back actually and replace them just because you decided to do this. She goes on to write that my husband and I have really reflected the past few hours since posting this, and we have decided that it is absolutely time for her to grow up or get help if she is having issues. We've reached out to her stating that she owes us money or replacements by the end of next week, and if not, we have decided to move forward and make a report. While I have not heard back from her specifically, I've heard an aunt reach out and pretty much berate me for causing my sister more stress. I just replied that she caused damage to our positions and my aunt didn't really seem to listen. After the call, we decided to listen to these comments and go low contact with extended family, and we texted them that we will not be in attendance this holiday season. Weirdly enough, it felt great to say that. Shocker, right? My dad wants to help pay and replace the gifts, but we refused. We don't think he should have to do anything, nor my siblings or anyone else. He's open to the idea of having a conversation with her about her mental health or home life, but he wants this to settle down a bit so it's not seeming like we are attacking her. As of now, we are no contact, and for the foreseeable future, she will not be allowed around our toddler. I think that they made a great decision, honestly. First of all, demanding the replacement is not really just about the money, it's about making that person responsible for their actions. Like, she's 39 years old, and if she's that much of a baby that she decides to do this, I think some responsibility isn't bad for her. And it's understandable that they decided not to go to the Christmas for the whole family, because she said that the family was 50-50. That is so insane to me. So I think they went ahead and made a great decision, honestly, in this case. Because, like, at first I thought that this is fake, but the author just updates and comments, and so she seems invested, and it's not like I really thought it's rage bait. It's almost funny. Now, the next story, this one is a little bit of a creepy one. The other story is from Am I Overreacting? And it goes on like this. This is a Christmas card I got from my neighbor. It's really pretty weird and I feel rather creeped out by it, but maybe I'm overreacting. I don't know this neighbor well at all, and we've had pretty minimal interactions. I know that he's married with three young, under 10-year-old kids. I'm sorry, it's really hard to read. His handwriting is awful, but I have a transcript of the message, so I'm going to read it for you guys. There is a message on the left side of the card that says, Dear little red haired girl, we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas for your first year in the neighborhood. I know you live alone and don't even have boys over, so if you are feeling lonely, don't hesitate to come over. My wife is taking the boys to see their grandpa this year, but I have to stay to work. The ER is always busy. I'm an EMP, if you didn't know, so I will be lonely this Christmas Day. Undersigned, Dr. Redacted his last name for safety, I guess, and privacy, and family. If you don't know what EMP is, it's emergency medical provider or personnel. And on the right side of the card, the message is printed. It's with joy we receive him, with hope we share him, and with love we celebrate him. May the gift of Jesus bless your life and all year. So that is a really creepy message, I would say. It's not creepy, it's just really even crossing boundaries completely and insane, like scary almost. She says that, so to start with, him addressing me as a little girl made my skin crawl. When I'd use my name was on the envelope, so he does know it. Secondly, apparently he's been watching to see if I had any men over and stated that since I haven't, I must be lonely. I guess he missed that my girlfriend is often over here, or just assumed she doesn't. This word, I've never seen this word, guys. Assuage, hmm? Assuage, make an unpleasant feeling less intense. Well, we learn vocabulary every day, and just assumed she doesn't assuage my apparent loneliness. Thirdly, why is he trying to invite me over to his place while his family is gone? And lastly, he signed it as if it was from his family, but he's the only one that wrote anything on it, and I really doubt his wife specifically signed off on the message. This is super creepy, right? I feel like I should speak to this wife, but I really don't want to be responsible for making drama or tension in someone else's family, especially not right before Christmas. I'm also considering asking my girlfriend to come stay with me for a while so that I'm not alone and he has no reason to try making me feel less lonely. So yeah, really scary. I would honestly just even maybe contact authorities, but maybe that's overreacting. So at the very least, contact the wife. Like, you shouldn't really care about ruining someone's Christmas when it's ruining yours. I feel like, and your security, even safety. Like, there's clearly something off with him, and yeah, just that. And like, I don't know if having the girlfriend over is a good idea. Maybe you go to the girlfriend's place until the family comes back and you can have a conversation with the wife. So, yeah. In the comments, the OP has said that she doesn't know how old he is specifically, but she would guess that he's early mid 40s. Uh, and just people are suggesting in general that he should go up to his wife and that she shouldn't be home alone until the wife comes back. And we actually get an update 2 days later. She says that I waited most of the day for Dr. Creepy to leave for work and went over to talk to his wife with my girlfriend. I asked her about the card and she was aware it had been sent out but had not read it herself. She seemed both shocked and confused and defensive throughout the conversation, and I didn't feel that I could really trust her, so I didn't make any accusations and kept my feelings to a minimum of feeling uncomfortable with the card. The first and biggest red flag is the handwriting itself. She said that he does not ordinarily write in cursive and often struggles to remember how to write the letters. He showed me other cards that he had written in his regular handwriting, and they are much more legible. My card is the only one that he wrote in cursive on, and she couldn't think of any reason he would do that other than a flight of fancy. There's only one reason I can think of. He wanted to be able to deny he wrote it if I confronted him directly, and he'd have to show me the other cards as proof that it's not his handwriting. We went through the letter together, and she tried to explain some of it as she could. For example, the part that is "Dear little red-haired girl," she says this was a harmless reference to Peanuts because the family had been watching the Peanuts movie together recently. Still feels really creepy to me. On the part of him knowing I don't have boys over, she said that we both think it's odd a pretty young woman doesn't have a boyfriend, while my girlfriend was sitting right next to me. Like that is disrespectful, I would say. About the invitation to come over during Christmas, she said it was meant for the whole family was there. Like it was meant for when the whole family was there. But she's living with the kids this Friday for almost 2 weeks. She didn't really have an explanation for that part that she's leaving. I told her I didn't feel comfortable going over while he was alone, and she agreed with that, at least, I guess. I did keep the card and just sent her a picture of it. Like I said, I don't really trust her, and I wanted to keep the card as evidence in case he tried to do anything else. She said him talking about being lonely for Christmas was just him trying to emphasize, like, we are here for you and you can always come over. She said that she would handle the situation with her husband, but I'm not sure what she means by that and didn't really elaborate. I don't have much faith in her doing anything since she was mostly trying to explain away the weirdness of the card. And as for my personal safety, my girlfriend is staying here for a while. She brought some weapons, pepper spray, taser, crowbar, and said she'd ready to crack it. While I appreciate her eagerness to defend me, I truly hope that that will be unnecessary. And new cameras were ordered and should be arriving tomorrow, so I can set those up and watch the house from my phone. I'll be going to my girlfriend's parents' house for Christmas, so I will at least be out of the house on the day that he feels most lonely. So yeah, that's definitely crossing boundaries. Uh, Way more than crossing boundaries, and hopefully it will stop. There are no more edits and updates, so seems like everything went about as fine as it could, and nothing more happened. The next story is from the subreddit AITA, and it says, uh, "Am I in fault for ruining Christmas and being upset that the only gifts I got from my family were joke gifts?" This is a little bit of a funny but really annoying one. Some background: my family likes to play pranks with Christmas and birthday gifts. It's nothing new. The author is a 21-year-old girl, and she says that I, as well as my five siblings from 29 to 37 years old, have all been pranked on our birthdays and on Christmas, and usually it's one or two gifts. This Christmas, though, I was the only person to get all the joke gifts. For example, I unwrapped a MacBook from my brother, but when I opened it, it was just some chocolate, which I don't eat, so I gave it away. And the MacBook was actually given to my sister inside a bag she wanted. That is so stingy. Another gift was what I thought was a book, but I put on my Christmas list that I put on my Christmas list, but it was actually just a book cover put on a dictionary. When I asked my mom about the book, she told me she gave it to my son-in-law. That is, yeah, like I can see how that's annoying. Everyone is just like the mom went through buying the book, but just gave her the cover. Like at the very least, after the prank, give the actual book, but she decided to just give it away. This went on with each present my siblings or parents had given me. AirPods were just an adapter. Gift cards were used and had zero balance. A card with Monopoly money, and so on, totaling about 12 joke gifts. I personally would lose it, like honestly. I realized I went out of my way to get everyone something they wanted or they'd like, but didn't get anything in return. At this point, I was bummed, so I went to the living room to watch TV with my boyfriend. At the dinner, they were all talking about how much they loved their gifts, and when my dad asked why I hadn't said anything about mine, I said that there wasn't much to say. Everyone but my boyfriend laughed, and my mom said it was no big deal as everyone else also got some joke gifts. I told her every gift I got was joke, and that the ones that they got was also followed by the real one. My dad told me I needed to relax as I'm making a big deal about it, and I have next Christmas to get the stuff on my list. I think that this is really messed up, especially because she's being outed. Like every other sibling got a joke gift, but then got the real one, but she just got joke and joke and joke. And it wasn't just joke, it was really messed up. For example, imagine you ask for a MacBook and then you get a MacBook, but then it's not the MacBook, sorry. But then also your sister actually gets the MacBook, which she didn't even want. So I think this is really mean and unnecessary. Like this is going too far. Not wanting to go back and forth, I told my boyfriend I wanted to leave and we can spend the rest of Christmas break with his family, then go home. My family got mad and told me not to go and that just to stay because I wasn't serious. Um, I left and put my phone on Do Not Disturb during the drive, and by the time we got to my boyfriend's parents' house, I had several missed calls and texts from them calling me names like ungrateful, sensitive, and childish. They said I ruined Christmas and made my parents upset because I left. I think that they ruined Christmas and made her upset. The next day, I exchanged and opened gifts with my boyfriend and his family, and one of the gifts I had gotten was the book I wanted, the book my mom pretended to give me. I posted it on my Instagram story, and not even 0 minutes after posting it, my sister sent a screenshot of my story to the family group chat, and they basically got mad at me for leaving and telling me I ruined Christmas over some presents. They told me I owe everyone, especially my parents, an apology because my mom spent New Year's sad because of my actions. No, I just want an outside party to tell me if I'm in the wrong here, or am I in the wrong for being upset about the gifts for living and living? And yeah, like this is insane. First of all, there's an edit. I'm going to read that first and then react. My Christmas list didn't include any expensive gifts, and aside from the MacBook, and nor was I upset that I didn't receive expensive gifts. I was merely upset because of being pranked with everything I got, and being the only person who didn't get a real present at all this year. Another thing I'll address is I didn't do anything to my family which would warrant them doing this. The last big argument I had was with my sister, which was over a year and a half ago. And so that's the end of the message. This is really messed up. Like, it seems fake almost because like it's just doing too much. It's taking the stuff too far, and then being so entitled and kind of seeing yourself as the victim that oh your mom spent Christmas sad. Yeah, maybe because you made your daughter sad by doing this too much. Like I don't know, maybe it could be really bad communication between other family members. So each one is thinking, okay, so mom is gonna buy a real present. I'm gonna get a prank present, and then the mom thinking, "Oh, dad is gonna get a real present, so I'm gonna get a prank present." And so maybe like this could be really a case of really bad communication. But I think it shouldn't have happened. Honestly, it's too much, really too much. The next story is again from the same subreddit, and it says, "Am I in the wrong for suggesting we lock up the Christmas presents after what my niece did last year?" So every year, my siblings and I, alongside our families, spend Christmas with our parents. We stay at their house for a few days, and everyone opens gifts together. It's hectic but a lot of fun. The kids enjoy having one big sleepover with their cousins. My mom likes having everyone home again, and we all pitch in. It's a win win. Last year, my brother married Sally. She has a 7-year old daughter, and this was their first Christmas with us. It seemed like they were having a fun time, and fast forward to Christmas Eve, all the kids went to the finished basement to sleep. We told the kids to not open up gifts without us and wake us up when they did. And this was repeated several times to ensure that nobody did anything otherwise. Once the kids were asleep, we put all the gifts under the tree and eventually went to the bed ourselves. The next morning around 6 a.m., I wake up early and head downstairs, and I find in the living room a mess. Half of the gifts were unwrapped, several of them had been ripped from their boxes, and there was this daughter of Sally, which we will name Mindy for reducing confusion. And there was Mindy playing with some of the toys. Most of the ones weren't even hers, and she knows how to read, and they were all labeled. So she knew that she was opening others' gifts, and she also knew that she was opening gifts when she shouldn't be. Keep in mind, this is a 7-year-old girl. Uh, I was in shock. I went and got my brother and Sally, and alongside the rest of the adults. Sally was super embarrassed, and my mom was very upset. The other kids weren't up yet, so we tried to salvage what we could while Sally talked to Mindy. Not everything could be fixed, and she had broken a couple of toys completely, and the broken ones weren't even her own toys. Luckily, not everything was damaged, and even the boxes that were, the kids didn't notice. But my nephew had one of his big gifts destroyed, and he was sad when everyone else got theirs, while he was told he'd have to wait for a few days for the new one to come back in. Sally and my brother reimbursed everyone, and Mindy didn't get to open gifts with everyone, but joined the festivities later. She apologized but kept making excuses. She said she didn't want to wait and she wanted to see what everyone else got. We are all preparing to go to my parents' house again this year. I put in the group chat that we should either lock the door to the living room this year or put a gate around the tree so no one can get in. I didn't even name names, just specifically said no one. However, Sally and my brother got mad, accusing me of treating Mindy like a baby or an animal. I said I'm not, but this is just a precaution so none of the kids are tempted. And they said that this is unnecessary and I'm holding a mistake over Mindy's head. I said no, I'm not. I'm trying to make sure we have no repeat. Um, And she has also said, because I know it will be asked. Mindy doesn't have autism or ADHD, and even if she did, my daughter has ADHD, and both my sister's kids are on the spectrum, so they knew better. I don't think Mindy was malicious; she was only 6, but I do think precautions should be made. My parents agree with me, and my brother is mad that I put it in their heads. I think that This is a little bit of a funny, but also overreaction. Maybe I understand, like being annoyed over a family tradition getting ruined, kind of for 1 year. Not really getting ruined, uh, but it's a 6-year-old girl. Like it's a 6-year-old kid. What do you expect? They get excited, and like the thing is, other kids have grown up in this family, so they know the drill. They know the tradition. They have learned to somehow like resist the temptation to open the gifts early. But she was the first time for her, and I think that this is too much. Like 1 year later, still remembering is understandable, but bringing it up and being like, "Oh, lock up the gifts," it's not insane, but it's not also very nice. I feel like a 6-year-old kid can make mistakes and shouldn't be held against her. Uh, just I'm sure the parents, because she says that that Sally, the wife of the boyfriend, the brother, was embarrassed, and so I feel like they definitely, the parents themselves, took precautions. So this must feel insulting to them. I feel like that being like, oh, let's look up the gifts. You don't need to name names for it to be obvious. What are you referring to? So I feel like a little bit of overreaction, maybe, but also not enough to be too much mad about it. But I feel like it's just understandable for them to say that no, we talked with our children, with our child, and she won't do it this year. And again, it is a child. It might actually just happen again, and oh, like after that, maybe yes, look up the gifts. But I feel like before that is a little bit doing too much. Maybe the next story is again from the same uh, subreddit, and the title goes, "Am I in the wrong for quote unquote ruining Christmas?" So the author is 66. The author is 36 years old, and he's married to a woman that is 36 years old, and they have two children: Nora, who is 10 years old, and Hayden, who is 8 years old. In the weeks leading up to Christmas, Hayden started to get in trouble a lot and had really bad behavior in general, which is surprising considering he was. This has never happened before. We would often get notified by his school that Hayden has been getting himself into trouble. He has also been falling behind in his schoolwork and has often been getting low grades at the school. His behavior isn't as bad as it is at home, but he can still sometimes be disrespectful to all of us, and he has been verbally aggressive a few times. My wife doesn't punish him and is going easy on him because he says that he's struggling. Because she says that he's struggling to cope with the fact that his best friend is now gone. Hayden's best friend moved away over Thanksgiving, and it has been pretty hard on him. They have been best friends since Hayden was only 3 years old. Both my wife and Nora have been gentle with him and have done things with him to keep his mind off of the fact that his best friend is gone, and it works for a while. But then it seems whenever Hayden goes back to school, the bad behavior comes back up again, and Hayden gets in trouble. Personally, I think Hayden deserves discipline for the amount of time he has gotten himself in trouble. Right before school got out for Christmas break, Hayden had been physically and verbally aggressive at the school with both his classmates and his teachers. As a result, he was excluded from the class Christmas party and had to spend the afternoon in the principal's office. I was livid because Hayden's behavior was not getting any better and my wife was not doing anything about it. I decided that Hayden had to be disciplined because this was the only way his behavior would improve. After my wife went to bed on Christmas Eve night, I decided to take all of Hayden's presents and hold them until next year. I also took everything out of what we put in his stocking and replaced it with some coal. On Christmas morning, Hayden started crying after he saw that he didn't get any presents and got coal in his stocking. I told him that Like, I'm sorry, but the coal idea is kind of funny. I told him that because he had been very bad these past few weeks, he was put on the naughty list and that he should learn to behave if he wants any presents next year. My wife didn't know about this and took me aside and said she was infuriated that I would do such a thing and that I should have known how hard it has been for Hayden, that his best friend was gone. I told my wife that discipline is the only way to fix his behavior and that he will get those presents next year. So it's not like he will never get his Christmas presents. Hayden was grumpy the whole day and it seemed to make everyone else grumpy. My wife told me it's all my fault for ruining everyone's Christmas, but personally I believe it was Hayden's behavior that ruined Christmas because this wouldn't have happened if he wasn't being such a brat these past few weeks. I think that this is really a good example of very bad parenting. Like he's obviously very old fashioned and I don't know, when you're old fashioned it usually means your parents are old fashioned, so you should see that it didn't really work unless they were really disciplining you. I feel like this is a really bad thing to do. All of the gifts, like yeah, maybe give him less gifts. That would be understandable, but to first of all not talk with the wife beforehand because when you're parenting as a team. So hiding it from his wife was bad. What was worse is picking them all up, and then what is even worse is replacing with coal. That's insane. But generally, I think that yes, he's in the wrong. This is such a bad move. Uh, Hayden is just 8 years old, and he has lost his best friend of 5 years. They were friends, I guess, since he has memories. So that can be a pretty big hit. Maybe therapy, maybe sports classes. Like try to occupy his mind instead of trying to punish him. That would be a better idea. Uh, and he also implemented a new punishment form without discussing with his wife. Uh, and he was saying that she didn't do anything about his behavior, and it seems like he wasn't doing anything about his behavior either. He just decided on Christmas Eve, oh, I'm gonna do something. It's time to like do something. I feel like this is so wrong and definitely will not work. So hopefully the wife does something about it and like tells him to learn better how to be a dad, I guess, and also get Hayden some help because it seems like he's really struggling with the loss of his best friend, and he's really just a kid, 8 year old. So hopefully everything will end up fine. There are no updates here, just comments full of people saying that yeah, you messed up, and mm, people are just warning them that this is going to lead to anxiety for Christmas. That every year they're going to be scared that oh, not just Hayden, even the sister too, Nora. They're going to wonder if they're in the naughty list and if they will be getting presents or no, and this will turn Christmas from a holiday to a really a scary time for them. I feel like, and it is correct. And we have the last story here. It is also from the subreddit AITA. It says, "Am I in the wrong for how I acted on Christmas Day? My mom worked Christmas Eve night shift until 8 a.m. Christmas morning and was working again Christmas Day 2 p.m. onwards, from 2 p.m. onwards. Sorry if I'm reading bad. It isn't because I'm reading bad, it's because they typed it out bad and I'm just trying to rephrase it correctly so we understand each other. This meant that we were roughly planning to open presents in the morning. I was half asleep and around 8:30 when my dad came into my room to see if I was awake. I gave myself 5 to 10 more minutes to wake up when I hear the sound of presents being opened downstairs. I come downstairs and see presents being opened and I straight up walk away and ask, "You're opening presents without me?" To which they reply, "We did check to see if you were awake." I sit there and join them opening the presents, feeling full of anger at being left out instead of sitting there looking at and appreciating each present. Everyone just rushed through all of the presents and it felt so empty. The whole thing made me feel so bad and I just went straight back to my room afterwards. And I never saw my mom before she left for work, and my dad has given me the silent treatment all day. Well, I understand that my mom wanted to go to sleep before her next shift. There was no desperate need to open the presents straight away, as my parents were sat downstairs from 12:30 till 14 and talking and doing nothing, so we could have easily opened them then. We are having our Christmas dinner, etc. Uh, at another day, since my mom has the days off, so we could have also opened them then. Well, I'm not bothered about presents, and I find them materialistic. It was the fact that we wouldn't have done, we would have been able to do it together as a family, and I would have never thought that they would have excluded me from a Christmas activity. I think that the author is in the wrong here. The parents' reaction isn't amazing. Like silent treatment is wrong, but also the author is wrong because they're kind of expecting everyone to just wait around for their convenience. Everyone is putting effort into waking up early so that they can open the Christmas. You know, everyone seems to have a job shift. Their life is busy, so they all agreed to wake up at a certain time so that they can do a certain activity that they have decided together to do at that time. So I feel like you feeling like, oh, you get 5 to 10 more minutes of sleep, uh, isn't like just you, nobody else, is a little bit entitlement maybe, and expecting everyone to wait. Again, it's a busy schedule, so I can see why they wouldn't wait. But also, it is wrong not to wait. Maybe they should have just insisted more to wake her up, like not just check, but to wake her up and be like, okay, calm down. But to feel like that everyone has to wait around for your convenience, and even though the mom is getting zero sleep and a rushed Christmas and straight back to work. Uh, in the comments, I'm seeing that people are judging her a lot. I feel like they're doing a little bit too much, but also I get the point that not everyone is going to wait around for your convenience, but also I get the point that they're family, so they should kind of be more persistent and try to wake you up actually. Uh, but yeah, definitely the mom is working so hard, so she's acting a little bit entitled that, oh, I decided I'm going to give myself 5 to 10 more minutes of sleep. I guess they were trying to teach her a lesson, maybe also. There could be that too. But yeah, that's the end of this story as well. No more updates. And that is the last story for today. I hope you enjoyed the stories. I'm going to do, I think, one more episode on Christmas stories. And again, have a happy holidays, guys. And I hope you enjoyed. And just have an amazing Christmas. Goodbye.